Next.
I'm back on.
Got it. In the next lesson, I'll, and you don't have this because I haven't sent it out yet, but I give a little story in Sierra Leone Creole, which I've written in two different ways. One is in the official government-sponsored spelling, which has some phonetic letters. And they did that to bring it in line with the other 15 or 16 African languages spoken in Sierra Leone. But I also put the same text in impressionistic spelling, and then put the ASC equivalent of it also. And you'll be able to see how the impressionistic spelling doesn't really catch the real pronunciation of the language, but it's the best we can do. Wendy, did you find page 27?
27. Okay, let me get to that. My computer is running incredibly slow. And it's going a little crazy.
Well, it would be nice to know that everybody already has page 27 in front of them, but somehow I think they don't. And what we're doing now, because we are more than halfway through the sessions, so what we're going to be doing now is just recap of the grammar we've done before, just some reminders about the grammar, and then more actual texts, stories, recipes, and we can go through that. And when there's a grammar point that needs discussion, then I can stop, or if you have a question about it, we can stop and I can go into a bit of detail about that. But I think you're going to enjoy it more with the little stories that are waiting there. And you have them already because Wendy sent out the whole thing. And I did say, don't print everything out yet, because that's not the final version. And you're going to use a lot of printer ink and paper to print out something that is not the final version. What you do have is the dictionary with all the words, because some of you have been asking me about the words. So what we're looking at now, and I know I called the last session session 6, but I rearranged stuff so that last session was really session 5 and today is session 6, and there's a couple of grammar points to go over, and I will start with that. And there's these two words. I'm gonna miss it. There are these two words that have more than one meaning, and even though they're spelt the same way, they don't mean the same thing, and they're not the same words. And you just have to think about in English, where you've got NIGHT, which means the nighttime, and you've got Knight, which is a guy in a suit of armor. And they both sound exactly the same when you say them, but they are two completely different words. And in Seminole spelling, same thing. So the two I'm looking at are duh and day. And duh, D-U-H, has two separate meanings. And one is when you put it in front of a verb, it means you're actually doing that verb. So if you take a word like walk, if you use the word, the verb just by itself, that is the past tense. So if you say a walk, that doesn't mean I walk now, it means I walked in the past, walk, ed. If you want to say I'm walking now, you'd have to put that duh there. I don't walk, and that means you're doing it, okay? But that same duh is also the verb that means to be something. So it can go in front of a noun as well as in front of a verb. When it's in front of a verb, it means the verb is going on. If it's in front of a noun, it means is or be. So if you say John the man, that means John is a man. If we put both of those meanings with been, which makes it past, a been the walk means I was walking. John been the man means John was a man, whatever he is now. It's not a man now. So there's these two meanings of duh, very important that you keep them separate. And de can mean a couple of things too. It can mean there, T-H-E-R-E. So you could say, Ida sidang ubade. He is sitting over there. So it can mean there, but it also means exist. To exist or to be in space, in nature. So you can say, the book de on the table. The book exists, the book is on the table. So that de means exist. And you hear it in greetings. You could say in Seminoles, you meet somebody, you can say, how the family them? How's your family? And them, remember, is a plural. So how's y'all's family? And you could say them de. And that means they're there. Everything's cool. Nothing's changed. They're still there. In church, you could say God de. That means God is. God exists. So this de means to exist. So there's the word with these two different meanings. And I did use the word them, which is a plural. People them, book them. That's like an S in English. But it also means they, or them, or their. T-H-E-I-R. So I'll give you an example. Them to talk means they are talking. I see them means I saw them. And them book means their books or even their book. Them book them would only mean their books with a S on the end. Okay, so sort out those words. If it's still confusing, let me know. And that's what we did starting on page 27. And the examples I give with duh, Arawe mi yala kya. Ada wear mi yellow cap. I am wearing my yellow cap. It also means, besides, and it has a slightly different application, just as in English, actually. The example I gave you before in English was, let's say you're walking along and you see a friend and you say, hey, how you doing? And you stop and talk and you say, what are you doing? How's it going? And that person says, I'm going to school. Now, in English, you're not sure whether that means I'm going to school, so don't stop me, I'm late for class, or these days, I'm going to school, I'm back in school. I'm not going there right now, but I'm going to school these days. You see the difference? One is happening now, and one is happening over time. But in English, they both come out the same. That is also true in Seminole. In some of the other Creoles, you can separate them, but like in Jamaican, you'd say it differently. But in Seminole, to go to school could mean I'm going there now and I'm late, or I'm back in school. Okay. So the three senses, ada wear mi yellow cap could mean I'm wearing my yellow cap right now, or I usually wear my yellow cap, but I'm not wearing it right now, but it's something I do now and again. Or it can also mean I am going to, and that is the same in English as well, because in English, you can say, I'm going to France next week. So you're not actually going to France right now, you're going next week, but you can still say, I am going to France, not I will be going to France. See that? So it's a little bit like that also in Seminole. Now, I say a little bit here on the same page about abbreviations. There's a lot of abbreviations in Seminole, and that duh can just abbreviate right down to just a D sound. So instead of saying I'd go, I am going, you can just say I'd go, like D apostrophe, I'd go there, right? And a common greeting or comment in Seminole is Wadelia. Wadelia. What is bothering you? What's up with you? Wadelia. And notice ya, it's not always huna. You could say ya too. Wadelia. Nothing adel me. Nothing's up with me. Okay. When you put that duh, that future duh, with some other tense words or aspect words, it can get collapsed into an abbreviation. So with the future word en, en, which in English would be will, if you say I will do it, in Seminole you'd say slowly en duum, right? If you put the duh in there, so it would be en duum, and what you're trying to say is I am going to be doing it, not I will do it, but I will be doing it. Then the en duh shortens up to ana duum. I will be doing it. The same with the past marker, which is been. I've been doing. I did it. I've been doing. I was doing it. But what you say is I've been a doing. So you got these little contractions. Okay. Here are a bunch of sentences just to practice these contractions. Where it means be, him de mes friend, he is my friend. Him bina mes friend, he was my friend. What a him. Now this might throw you a little bit. What a him means what is it? Because now you have to remember that if you know your English grammar, you got the third person singular, he, she, it, his, her, its, him, her, it. But all of those are just in Seminole. You don't make a distinction if it's a man or a woman, him or her, or if it's an it. It's all the same word. So if you say, what a him, you're saying, what is it? You could be saying, there it is. Yeah, but we need page 27. We need, can you flip on now? There we are, page 27. Go back up, go back up. Interesting. Come down again because my pages are different. Go down until it comes to, oh, all right. No, go back up 27. Sorry. Bit more. Keep going, keep going. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've changed this quite a bit, but never mind. Okay, there's number. Keep going. Woo, go back to 6. We did the African words last time, so come on down. My page 27 is different from yours. Yeah, we did Spanish last time. Let's just start here because everybody can see this. Let's look at the recipe. And the words above are from Spanish, but I think we did this last month. And I made the point that any Spanish word could really show up in Seminole because you hear Spanish every day, just like you hear English every day. So it's hard to make a list of Spanish words in Afro-Seminole the way you can make African words, because nobody hears new African words. You just, that list locked off a long time ago. So here is a recipe, and we're into the texts now. And this is a recipe for a wild plant called hugweed. Hugweed is, it grows everywhere and you can eat it. And a lot of these things in the Seminole cuisine are plants that were readily available. And back then, people knew which plants not only were good to eat, but which plants were good for cures. But I think that knowledge is disappearing very quickly. It's the same with my own people, Romani people. Our ancestors knew everything about what you could eat and what you could use for medicine. But the young people now, they haven't got a clue. They go to the store and they buy pills in the pharmacy. But hogweed, the one them plant, we huna hafa tikiobo, and I will go through these sentences and explain them. Hagwid de, and there is a de, which means be, is hagwid de. One dem plant is one of those plants we huna have to take care about, which all of y'all have to take care means be careful. Well, take care about means take care about, but try not to think of the English equivalent. It's maybe interesting and useful to think of the English origin, but this is not English anymore. Just remember, tikia means be careful. Because the juice in bun hanahan, if hana tetu, why son of the gedera. Because, kes is because juice, it's sap, in bun hanahan will burn your hand. And there again, to make a possession in English, you put an apostrophe S. But that doesn't exist in Seminole. So Hunahan means your hand or hands. If Huna techa, was Huna the getera. If you touch it while you are gathering, collecting it. Now, notice that the meaning it, is now rum with an R. That's because geta has a vowel on the end, the sound, and a lot of words that end in an sound, the changes to rum to make it a bit easier to say. So that whole sentence, hagwi the one dem pla we huna hafa te kyobo kusi juice and bun hana hana funa tetu wai suna the getero. Next paragraph. Nama de nyong leave them for pool. Now, nama means only. If you can guess where the word comes from, nama means only, but it comes from no more. Nothing more than the, no more is it the young leaf them, the young leaves, fa, and fa means to in front of verbs, for pull. Only it is the young leaves to collect, pull off the plant. Then, piham in hana kittle and balan good. Put it, and here, since you've already established that it's plural, you say leaf them, you can say and although it means it, it can also mean them because we already know that we're talking about more than one leaf. Pit is put, pitum, put them, in hana kettle. Now, kettle isn't a tea kettle. It means more like a big pot or even a bucket or something you could cook in. So put the leaves in your pot and boil them good. Boil is boil. Boil them well. Na try for tasty raw one them. Na means don't if it's up front. Don't try to taste the raw ones. In other words, the uncooked leaves of hogweed, the poison part and left out of the poison part, because the sap of hogweed is poison. It would upset you if you ate it, but it would also hurt you if you got the juice on your skin. So, but the poison part and left out of the poison part will leave out of it with the boiling. But even so, it's still going to be some people, but even so, nevertheless, he's still going to be some people. And notice Gwen is another form of the future N. That's the long form of N. Still going to be some people we have to try, take a little taste. So there still will be some people who have to try to take, and here we've got two verbs in a row. In English, you'd have to say try to take a little taste. In Seminole, you don't have to do that. You can just put verbs together without a to in between. We have to try take a little taste. We're gonna try to take a little taste before you done fix good, before it's fixed well, cooked well, because them not hana patient, because they don't have any patience. They're too eager to taste the greens, because this is some good greens. Once you done cook till he good and soft, and you should be understanding this by now. Once he done cook till he good and soft, now that it's time for putting the salt and the pepper and other things we're gonna want. Now it is the time to put in the salt and the pepper and other things that or which you want. I'm ready for sab up along with what's number 101. Now, you don't ready for sub up, you understand that. With what's number 101, what's number means whatever else you want to put with your greens. When I cook greens, when I cook greens, I cook a lot of greens, but I put the hot pepper in there, and I put a little taste of what do you call it? The sesame oil. I know that's a terrible thing to do. A little spot of sesame oil in with your greens and your pepper and salt and so on adds a little something to the greens. Okay, can we move on? Unless there's no questions, let's look at fry braid. Fry braid is really central to Afro-Seminole culinary culture. And it's one of those things that didn't come with the African part, it came with the Native American part, because Native American peoples also do fry bread. So this shot is something else again, where this istichati diwi. Istichati is the old word for Native Americans. So this shot is something else again, where the istichati diwi gave us. For fixing, will need white farina flour, 4 cups. Farina flour means wheat flour, white flour, not cornmeal flour. You know, when you go and get your tacos, you have a choice. You can have the corn ones or the white wheat flour tacos. And farina flour, you're going to need that, not the corn flour, and you need 4 cups. So salt, 2 little spoons of salt. And I caution you to go easy on the salt. It's bad for your blood pressure. Personally, I can't eat that damn thing without salt in it, but I have a blood pressure problem and I have to decide what's worth it. Is it blood pressure or something that tastes good? Sugar, 1 regular spoon. Regular is got a problem here with spoon sizes. You've got a little teaspoon for stirring your tea, which is a lily spoon. A regular spoon is the bigger one, but then there's an even bigger one, a serving spoon, which is even bigger. So we're looking at 3 different sizes of spoons. And in Seminole recipes, you don't have all little measures of centimeters and this and that. It's quantities that make up the recipes. So sugar, 1 regular spoon. Some people don't like to put sugar in the fry bread, but some people do. Shortening, one regular spoon of shortening. You have a choice of things here. You've got to imagine what was available back in days gone by, in Florida, in Mexico, in Oklahoma. Did the ancestors have access to grocery stores where they could go and get a can of Crisco? Probably not. As time went by, they could, but in the old days, you had to save shortening off of the stuff you fried, save it in a can. So whatever shortening, but you need some water, 2 cups of water, which is water, and oil, 2 cups of oil. So this is pretty greasy recipe. You've got the shortening and you've got the oil, which is oil. So pour the oil in a pan about deep as 3 inches, about as deep as 3 inches. Set them upon the fire for hot. Set it upon the fire to heat. Why see the hot? While it is getting hot, crumble up the flour and the salt and the sugar and the baking powder together. Then when them done mix good, stir in the shortening and the water and mash everything so till it done turn to dough. Okay. Stir is stir. Stir in the shortening and the water and mash everything. Sautel means until. It's a common word. Sautel means until. You don't turn to dough. So you have, and you do it with your hands, really. You get a kind of a dough that you can knead in your hands. The dough for soft, the dough for. Now, for by itself means has to be, must be, soft. Hana for able quiz one chunk of with Hana 2 hands till it come flat and round. Y'all have to be able to squeeze one chunk of it, one lump of it with y'all's 2 hands until it becomes flat and round. About 3 inches across the top and 1/2 inch thick. So y'all can understand that easily, I'm sure. Then you're the Hana libre dough them. Then you have y'all's little bread doughs, little flat bread dough pieces, and left them shape to one side. Now, here is another duh that I didn't talk about. The duh I talked about a bit earlier had 2 meanings. It has a 3rd meaning. It also means at or to. So then you the Hana libro de. Oh, there's a word missing here. Yeah, I missed out a word here. There should be a word in between da and Hana. It should be ha, them, ya ha, you the ha, Hana libre do them. Then you have, that's good, your little bread shapes, which is like pancakes. Left them shape the one side. So leave those already formed pancakes of fry bread to one side. Then test the oil for see if it don't get good and hot. Dish away. Test the oil to see if it has already gotten good and hot in this way to test it. Chew away 1 little piece to do interim. Throw. Chew away means to throw 1 little piece to do. Now in English, you'd have to say 1 little piece of the dough. Don't do that in Seminole, just 1 little piece to do. Interim, into it, into the hot oil. And if you begin fry 1 time, And if it begins to fry, one time means right away. Doesn't mean just once, it means right away. The oil ready, the oil is ready. Gone and put 100 leaf bread in the oil. Gone means go on and put one of y'all's little breads in the oil. If it begin for tongue brown and rise up in the oil, it must begin to turn brown and rise up or swell up, puff up in the oil. Time it rise up on top the oil. If it floats up to the top of the hot oil, turn over it and fry the other side so till it brown too. Flip it over in the hot oil and wait till that gets a bit brown too. Not too brown, you don't want to burn it. Take them out the pan and set them on top newspaper. Take it out of the pan and set it on top of some newspaper to let the extra oil drain out of them. To let the extra oil, the surplus oil, drain out of it. Put the next shape of bread dough into the oil and do the same thing again. So put the next little shape of bread, the next patty of dough into the oil and do the same thing again. Some people like to put milk, mono water in them dough. Some people like to put milk, mono water in them dough. Some people like to put milk, mono water in them dough. That means some people like to put milk more than water in their dough. So I don't know if people do that now, but traditionally it's just water in the mix for cornbread. Now that picture doesn't belong there at all. That's for something else. That was for the hogweed. Tetapoon, here's another recipe. Can we move down? Tetapoon, another common Seminole food. For the tetapoon, 1.5 a tek. Okay, for the potato pudding, there's that abbreviation of the future N, 1.5 a tek. You all will have to take. You're going to have to need sweet potato, either yams, about 3 pounds. So you're going to need sweet potatoes or yams, about 3 pounds. That's a lot. Skin them and grate them good. Skin it and grate it well. So you can make tetapoon with yams as well as sweet potatoes. You're also going to need hen egg. Hen egg is chicken eggs, 2 of them. Cominas, this should be cominas. Comino is the Spanish word. The Seminole word is cominas. Just 1 little spoon, 1 little spoon of comino. Vanilla, a little spoon of vanilla essence. Salt, a little spoon. Butter, 1/4 cup. So you need 1/4 cup of butter. Brown sugar or molasses, 1/4 cup, and sugar, 1/2 cup. Moving down. Everything for going on a pingi. Pingi, we had that word already. It's an African word meaning a pot, all knack up together. Everything for going on a pingi, all knack up together, means everything has got to go in your pot and all mixed up together. Get the oven. It's oven, not oven. Good and hot, 350 degrees. Why see the hot? While it is getting hot, take one baking pan and grease them good. Then pour the batter. Now battle means batter, like B-A-T-T-E-R, your mixture. Pour the batter all inside it, but not cover them. Cover is to cover, not cover them means don't cover it up. Put them in the oven for about a half hour. Test them with knife the way Hannah know how to do. Test it with a knife in the way that you know how to do it. In other words, you know, when you're baking a cake and you want to know if it's ready, you stick a clean knife into the cake. And if you pull it out and nothing's stuck on it, the cake's about ready. If you still got the batter clinging to the cake, you need to leave it in the oven. And if you don't ready, take out the pan, lay cool, and share them along with her friend then. And if it has already got ready, take out that pan from the oven, let it cool, and share it along with your friends, your friends. So that's how you do that. Next little text. This is the first text I ever heard in Seminole. It was Brother Willie, bless his memory, who told this story. Interesting situation, because I don't want to get sidetracked here, but when I met Miss Charles at the Dimmery bar years and years ago, and I didn't speak Seminole to her because I didn't know, but I spoke Gullah Geechee to her and she understood it, and she was surprised. She thought at first I was kind of teasing her with it. I wasn't, and she was surprised that I was speaking it. So she came back talking it to me, and I understood her very well, and I replied to her, and she said, "Are you leaving Brackett? Are you going to be around tonight?" And I said, "Well, I wasn't planning to stay. There were no hotels or motels in Brackett. The fort was there, but I didn't know about that." So I said, "Well, what's going on?" She said, "Well, can you come back to our meeting after church? We're having a church meeting, and at 10 o'clock tonight, we're having a meeting. There are people who will be interested to meet you and wonder why you know how we talk." So I drove quickly down to Del Rio and got a motel room and came back to that meeting. And Willie was there, and he told one of his jokes, and this is it. And his joke, his little story is, all of we ain't dead one day. All of us will die one day. Okay. I have this on a tape. And he starts like this. Good evening, how Hannah do? I hope say Hannah do fine. Now, here is a little bit of grammar. I hope say. This say is where you would have a that in English. I hope that Hannah do fine. I hope y'all are doing fine. I do all right. Now, I just come here this evening to see how Hannah do. In fa, pay me respects to the dead. Darada, my friend Silas Hall, that's the body in the coffin, I guess. And he dead, yeah? He dead. You know, he been for dead. You know, he ought to be dead since he's lying in a coffin. Now, no laugh, Hannah and die too. Now, don't laugh. Y'all will die too. Hannah and dead one of these days. Now, there's an English plural, these days. There's an English word, these. But in its last days of being spoken, Seminole was coming under pressure already from English. So there are little bits of English creeping in, and these days is just straight English. See the man right there? He the dead. If you not believe me, go over there and jug him. If you don't believe me, go over there and jostle him. He then turn up. He not in turn up. He not will stand up. He then holler. He not will shout. He then say nothing. He not will say anything. And then he says, I'm not going dead too. Sister Phyllis, and this is somebody in the group, the one thing I want for know, do we say it is where you can get that old deep bed out there from. It is where. Now, you can put in front of questions to kind of emphasize that it's a question. So word for word, this is, it is where you got that old deep bed out there from. Do we say door bed, and there's an abbreviation, da or bed is door bed, so deep, it's just like a man for the don in the grave. That old bed is so deep, it is just like a man must lie down or has to lie down in his grave, and he have to turn up for turn over, you know. He has to stand up in order to turn over in it. It's a joke, okay? Not saying too much about Seminole humor, but that's a joke. Move on down. Wendy, can you scroll down? We say Wendy did. Oh, there she is. Can you scroll down a little bit? Oh, we're joined by a fella. Okay. Now, this is the beginning part of a very interesting story. So pay attention because you're going to love this story. And it's quite long, so I'm not sure whether I put the whole thing here or whether just the first half because time is going by. But the story is called How Skip Done Lost His Soul to the Devil Case of One Woman. Skip, it's short for Scipio, it's a Seminole name, lost his soul to the devil because of one woman. We've all been there. From the first time that the woman named Fiba become for living in the house where they kid a corner to your skipping this to hang out her bad. Okay. From the very first time that the woman named Fiba didn't come for live in the house, to live in the house where they kid a corner to your own, which is kid a corner means diagonally opposite. Not on the opposite corner, but on the corner diagonally across the square to his own. Skipping this, the hanker autumn bad. Skip, past tense, just hankered or longed after her bad. He really fancied Fiba. Wanna know how he stand when a young man that lived that bachelor life need to feel he sat the rise. Y'all know how it is like, how he stand when a young man is living that bachelor life and need to feel he sat the rise and he's feeling he's sat rising. Well, to that feeling day where the move skip. Well, it's that there feeling that is moving Scipio until he can't do nothing more, accuse him for thinking about Fibber, until he can't do anything else except for accuse him for think about Fibber. Night and day, no matter Fibber, we depend in mind. No, nothing but Fibber who is on his mind. Day on in mind. There's that day, but it's a contraction. All day he dares to sit down long the window. All day he just is sitting long the window, by his window, maybe alongside his window, to spy upon the house across the way, spying upon the house across the way, in the hope for see Fibber, in the hopes of seeing Fibber come out in the door, come out of her door, so he could catch a little look at him, so that he could get a little look at her. For the whole night, there's so to do. For the whole night, just so, that's a little abbreviation, it is so, it is just so that he is doing, so till he plumb wore out, until he is completely tired. But even though a bed been dead for a long, but even though a bed was there, now this is another contraction. It's the day, it's both days. Day meaning exist and day meaning there. So even though a bed existed or was there for him lay down, to lie down, still he couldn't scarcely catch no sleep. Still he couldn't scarcely grab any wink of sleep. His mind be just a fastened on Fibber. His mind only fastened on this gal Fibber. The next morning, he get out of bed and he goes sit down again to the window for try catch a look upon the woman. The next morning, he got out of his bed and he went and sat again to, there's that meaning to or at the window for try and catch. There's two verbs together without an and, a look upon the woman. Here upon means at, to try and catch a look at the woman. Now, hunna have to ask, you'll have to ask, the one make Skip not go him one for talk to Fibber. You have to ask, it is what makes Skip not go him one by himself to talk to Fibber? Why didn't he just go and talk to her? Well, this here Fibber, we get him own man. This here Fibber had her own man, a carpenter. We named Huckles, some kind of a big ugly dude. We're not fit of no one. So she had her own man, a carpenter, who was named Huckles, some sort of a big ugly guy who is not afraid of anybody. We could look anybody straight in the eye, who could look at anybody straight in the eye and threaten them for even look on Fibber out of the corner in the eye. Who could look at anybody straight in the eye and threaten him or her before he even looked on Fibber, before he even looked at Fibber out of the corner of his eye. And this here Huckles, the one giant, this here Huckles is a giant, big guy. And the bad reputation will make Skip scared for calling him out. And it is his bad reputation that makes Skip scared to call him out, to threaten him. Fibber been tell all his friend them. Fibber told all of her friends, say that even though me man, the one nasty man, I know what side of me bread get the butter. Even though my man is one nasty man, I know what side, that means where, what side of, what side of me bread get the butter. Enti. Enti is a common word in Seminole, especially when you're asking questions or you're making a point. And this here is asking you, hearing this story, isn't it? Huck, enti the huck, we build a house where I live. So Fiba is explaining to her girlfriends, even though he's nasty, I know when I'm well off. Wasn't it Huck who built the house where I live? I'm not going anywhere. I know I'm for tell Hannah Sif. And then I'm back to me telling the story. I know I'm for tell Hannah Sif Fiba never noticed say skip one home. I don't want to tell you that Fiba not ever notice say that say you can say it twice. Skip wants her. She didn't know, she never noticed, she never knew that Skip fancied her. And I know I'm for say he wouldn't go across the road to Skip house, and I don't want to say that she wouldn't. Remember, we can do these negatives with would and should and could. So wouldn't is would not. Go across the road to Skip house if you been ever get the chance. But he not able forget say, the man too jealous. Somebody wouldn't wait 2 seconds before he'd take out the capital tool them for hurt anyone with days look on the human. All right, that's a lot here. But she was not able to forget that her boyfriend was too jealous. And you can say too jealous, that just means very jealous. Was somebody who wouldn't wait 2 seconds before he'd take out his carpenter tools to hurt anyone with them, who dares is to dare, look at his woman. He even tell Fiba, Isef, say he would have killed him if he ever think about he go and cross over the tree. So he even told Fiba herself that he would kill her if she ever thought about she was going cross over the street to Huckless house. So presumably he knew about this, about Huckless. Disha Huckless no love nobody in the round world accusing for Fiba. So this here Huck doesn't love anybody in the whole round world excusing except for Fiba. And he not love for do nothing tall again, and he doesn't like or love to do anything at all again or anymore except for build house. Okay, so Huckless, although he loves Fiba, he really just likes to build houses. He's a carpenter. So he has a very limited life. It's just Fiba and his job as a carpenter. All right. Well then, Skip not a coward. Not is, that's a contraction. Skip not a coward, but same time so, but at the same time so, you're not stupid neither. On this particular day, we're gonna sit down to a window to peek through the curtain. You see Fiba before a house, the miney league garden. All right. On this particular day, when he was sitting down at his window, peeking through the curtains, he saw Fiba in front of her house, minding her little garden, looking at her little garden. He looked too fine in a tight dress when he bent over. She looked too nice, very nice, in her, is her, tight dress, when she bent over for tentai flower, when she was tending to her flowers, until Skip couldn't look upon him no more without he lost his mind. Okay. He's can't bear to be looking out his window, across at her fixing her flower beds, till it's just too much for him to be looking. What for do? What to do? He studied to watch. Now, study means repeatedly or steadily. He studied to watch, look at this, like this, until he does have a holler, until he just has to holler, wow, I'm ready for sell me soul to the devil. If he could give me even a half hour, me and Fibber this, we two together. Wow, I'm ready for sell me soul to the devil. I'm ready to sell my soul to the devil. If he could give me even a half hour, he could give me even half an hour, me and Fibber, this we two together. No soon he done say this, he heard kapang, and the floor broke open and smoke been there everywhere. No sooner had he said this, he heard, Yeti is here, kapang, and the floor broke open. Broke means break, and smoke been there everywhere. And Skip Tande shocked to death. And Skip stood there, shocked to death. As he turned his head, sir, and as he turned his head thus, who that he see but Satan? Who should he see but Satan, the devil? The devil himself would have turned up before him in his room. It was the devil himself that is standing up in front of him in his room. Skip holler, the 100 to do in my house, Yasu. What are you doing in my house, Yasu, in my house here like this? Go along from here, go out, go away from here. I don't want nothing for do long, Hannah. I don't want anything to do with you. Long could mean with. Me the one clean Christian man. I'm a nice clean Christian man. Satan told him, the joke, Hannah, the joke in it. It's a joke you're joking, isn't it? Now notice this construction. You can say Hannah the joke, but you can emphasize it by repeating that same verb to joke up front. So you repeat it twice. It's a joke you're joking, isn't it? Anendes yeti Hannah to beg me for change Hannah's soul. If I give Hannah lead time for spend long fever, I not future just. I did not just yeti Hannah hear you the begging me for change Hannah's soul to change your soul. For I give Hannah for me to give you lead time for spend a little time to spend long fiba along with fiba. I didn't just hear you say that. Now Skip scared for true. He most paralytic from scared. Skip was really, for true means really, so Skip scared for true. He most paralytic from scared. He's most paralyzed from fear because he don't begin to see what kind of trouble he dep on, because he has already started to see what kind of trouble he is in. And he told the devil again, and he told the devil again, say, Hannah, the one lying liar. You are a liar. I never say nothing like that. I never said anything like that. But the devil just looked on poor Skip. But the devil just looked at poor Skip, and he gave him answer, say, and he gave him an answer saying, let me tell her one natural thing. Let me tell you one basic truth. I never the lie. I never lie. Skip then tell him, but nama the play wa been a play, but only it was playing that I was playing. But it was only playing that I was playing. And the devil tell him again, say, and the devil told him again, saying, and let me tell her one more thing again. Me, I never da play neither. So the devil told him again. And let me tell you one more thing. Me, I never play either. So I don't lie and I don't play. Then Skip began for cry. He's scared to death. He's scared to death means he is beyond fear. He's more than scared. Me, my mom been raised me good. He teach me to respect God, but see the trouble with the ail me now. And he's crying out, my mother raised me well. She taught me to respect God, but look at the trouble that is bothering me now. The devil just look upon Skip. He tell him, say, I don't catch enough of people same way like a hunter. I have caught a lot of people just the way as you, just like you. Hunter, human being, hunter, weak. Y'all human beings are weak. Then he sucky teeth. Now, sucky teeth means it's an expression of what's the best word in English? You may know this gesture. You just suck your teeth loudly, and it's disbelief or disrespect. You don't want to believe it. He suck his teeth, and he say, I done too weary for waste time long with Hannah. Just go on and give me Hannah's soul right now. So he's getting tired of this nonsense. Skip ready for die. For that giddish. Giddish means nervous. He been cut up in the corner, the shake like a leaf. He Satan been lift up a cat o' nine tail whip where he cracked smartly. Whap. Skip was ready to die. He was so nervous. He was standing up in the corner, shaking like a leaf, because Satan had raised up a whip, a cat o' nine tail whip, where he cracked smartly. Whap. And I want to let Hannah know, and I want to let y'all know, this your whip, them not make out of string, they make them out of snake. This here whip, they didn't make it out of string, they made it out of snakes. And the 9 snake them been a twist and turn ready for bite for Skip. And the 9 snakes were twisting and turning ready to bite poor old Skip. That at the time when Skip side for let the devil do anything what he want. He tell him, say, okay, Satan, I can give Hannah my soul. Say, how I know, say, Hannah going to keep Hannah own part of the bargain. And I'm now not translating so much of this because you should be understanding as I go along. Scarcely he say that, yet he kong on the door. Satan say, go look who that a turn up to Hannah door. Go and look at who is standing at your door. The fibber. He can look upon Skip, he smile one sweet smile upon him, he make your body so, and he asks him, say, but Skip, Hannah could do me one thing. Hannah could come over to my own house, for let we spend the time together, that's sweet too. No sooner the guy left, Satan looked on Skip and tell him for he half a lay down across the chair to lay flog him. No sooner had the girl left, Satan looked at Skip and told him that he had to lie down across his chair to let him, Satan, flog him, whip him. As Skip makes so, as Skip did so, as he made so, the devil tell him, once I am done flog Hannah 3 times, once I have finished flogging you 3 times, that 3rd time, Hannah's soul and blood to me. That 3rd time, your soul will belong to me. And Hannah go and get everything what Hannah want, including that fine sis Fibo Wayana. And you will get everything that you want, including that fine Sister Fiba over there. Now skip the one happy man. He tell the devil, say, when he be ask me for go to a house for let we spend a half hour together, make the waste time. So Skip says to the devil, you didn't hear when I asked, when he asked me to go to when she asked me to go to her house to let us spend a half hour together. What makes you? Now, mek here is short for wamek, and it means why. So mek the waste time means why are you wasting time? Flog me now. Me no want for waste time on talk. Flog me now. I don't want to waste time with talking. The devil say, all right, but when I deflog Hannah, but when I'm flogging you, Hannah not for call out nera holy name. You are not to call out any, nera means any, holy name. Do that and everything will stop and be same like how it been day before. Do that and everything will stop and be just the same as it was before. Skip say, yeah, I agree to that. So Skip says, yes, he agrees to that. Then Satan ice up his whip. Satan raised up his whip and he Skip one heavy lash. Aye, he feel to Skip like every snake been and bite him out to once. He holla, ow, son of a bitch. Satan lash him again good, and Skip holla, damn. But the 3rd lash, we Satan been lash him, Skip couldn't help himself, and he holla, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. 3 holy names. All to once, Satan done gone. Skip tan up, he look all around him, and he sees the flow no broke, no smoke, no vinde evoe. He stand like the devil na even been dead. Since that time, Skip done be one different man. Now, done be is the future of be. You don't say done da, you say done be. You no want for talk to nobody no more. He been desk the trips up and down the street like a goose. But even everybody been fed for day close to them, the gal fever been still want him. His are the fix where the devil been fix him. Fix means put a spell. He tell one of his friend them, say, one day when Huckles nubbin day in town, he called Skip for come spend their time to him. But Skip been done ton. Now there we've got been and done together. Been is past, done is complete. So had turned to something like a dead person. He had already done turned to something like a dead person. He not say one word, he not do nothing. That day, everything done, Trix Fiba and Skip. And that's the end of the story. And that's where we better finish today's session. Anybody got any questions? Miss Wilson, you like that story?
Yes, I liked it a
You
lot.
understand every word?
Yes,
Have
pretty
you
much.
heard it before? Has anybody
No.
heard this story before?
No. I do have a question
All
about
right. Our
the
next session, there will be more stories like this. You have the texts already, and we'll be going through them. If you don't have questions now, please you can email me with questions. If there's grammar that doesn't make sense or words that don't make sense, I'd be happy to talk about them, explain them. All right.
Dr. Ian, I do have a question. Do you hear me?
In that case, I'll see you next month.
Oh, there's a
Bye.
question.
I have a
So-
question. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Maybe you can translate. Oh, he left.
Oh,
Maybe he just couldn't hear me.
That's what I was thinking, that he may not have been able to hear because somebody
Yeah.
else had asked about a question.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, maybe he wasn't able to hear. So, yeah, I guess we could just email him. But thank you everybody for coming on. It's great to see all the new faces and everything. One thing that I will be, and one thing that I did want to discuss is meeting next month. We generally meet, I guess, towards the end of the month. So what I'll try to do is definitely get out the Zoom link early. I think next month is April, and it's probably going to be the 16th or the 23rd. Those are Saturdays, and normally we meet on Saturday. So if y'all have those days open and at 5 o'clock, you know, and if y'all could just email me and let me know, like, hey, this day works better, you know, that would be great, because we're really trying to figure out how to accommodate to everybody's schedules and stuff. So yeah, if there are no questions or anything for me, I guess we can close the meeting. And again, thank you everyone for attending. Okay.
thank you.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
All right, bye.
Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.